I'm feeling good tonight, boys. I'm feeling really good.
You are deliberately forgetting who you really are.
I had some friends come over, and they always know exactly what I like. I'm the fan of the Jameson, but my favorite, and I'll try to hold it up for you, is the Black Barrel. I believe the Black Barrel is something like IPA distillery, caskets or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is that like makes it different, but oh my Lord. For years, I was chasing this bottle of booze, and I thought I always liked a different one. And I was like, no, I like this other Jameson, and it was I would always get it, and I'd be like, this isn't it. And it's like way expensive, or way more expensive. But finally, it's the cork top Jameson. That's the best, I'm telling you. It is delish.
Would it taste just as good if it was Black Velvet in that bottle?
What is Black Velvet?
That crappy ass Walmart.
Oh, the whiskey. Walmart whiskey? I don't know. You could if you like Jameson, you can definitely kind of tell if it's like that Jameson taste.
I remember you liking this. Yeah, I remember you liking this, and I think you're right. It actually is the casket, or some kind of like IPA soaked wood or something, and it's like they put it in there or something crazy.
Yeah, which figures. I'm like I like the bougie shit. Oh, put it in this special casket where it soaks for extra time. Yeah, I need that. I'm special. I need that. And then I just swing it down.
The problem with it is that you have to tell everybody that it was your birthday. That's why you have this.
Well, yeah. I got it for a birthday present, and Brad, my boy, he I believe he's gotten it for me by accident the last 2 years in a row. But it's like the best thing. He knows I like Jameson, and he grabs this one because it's fancy looking. And he has done right. Let me tell you that. He has done right. It's the best. So,
did you happen to be wearing the fancy green shirt that Lolo got you for your birthday when you got the Jameson?
What fancy green shirt? The plain green shirt?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Are you talking
Hendrix
shit
talking
about
to
the
me on
green
Skype
shirt
the
or
other
what?
night.
Was I talking shit?
Lolo's like, you can open up one present tonight. You can open up one present. She tosses him a present. He opens it. It's like this plain-ass green shirt. And he straight up looks behind him, throws the shirt on the bed, and says, thanks.
Is that like when you used to open up the Christmas presents and, you got to choose one on Christmas Eve or whatever, and then you pick like the shittiest thing? It's like a pair of socks or something.
Well, I don't know. I think, like, with the girlfriend-boyfriend thing, it's like, I want something cool. You know what I mean? Like, I want something fucking awesome. And Lolo knocked it out of the park one year. She'll lets me open up this box, and she's like, there's, like, a couple envelopes, and it's, like, numbered, and she's like, hey, this person is going to come over and watch the dogs, and, for this amount of time. And, like, the next envelope was, she printed out a picture of my boss, and she's like, this guy said you had the next 6 days, or the dates off between this date and this date to go see your best friend in Hawaii. And then the third envelope was a picture of, like, Tony and Tots, and she's like, we're going to Hawaii for a week to see your best friends. And I was like, fuck yes. I was like, that's awesome. A fucking awesome gift. That's how you fucking give a gift. Right there. That is fucking it. That's a fucking surprise. Do something fucking way overboard. Come on. That's how we live our lives normally. We can fucking give gifts like that.
So you're saying the green shirt wasn't equal?
The bar was set too high.
She gave you that night, you were going to be a dick. It was like inevitable. I think you were just on a goal to be a dick, regardless of what you had to do.
Of course, I'm sure. Of course. Well, to be honest, what we did this year, and we did a couple of random things, which we'll see how it goes. So the first one, which I said I would never do, and I told the people over at the Love Sack, I will never order something from you again, you fucking assholes. 2 weeks later, I'm like, I would like another piece to my couch. I was like, this motherfucker's way too small. We need another piece, another side. I want another cup holder, Lola was always fucking stealing my fucking cup holder. So yeah, we had to extend the couch, get another cup holder. So we did that kind of as a group. We always try to do kind of group stuff like that as Christmas presents, where we can kind of like, oh, this is the excuse we're wasting this much money and buying this expensive of an item,
It's
and
for us.
Yeah, it works out good. Another thing
sounds like it was something you needed, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fucking couch. It'll last forever. We also got some knives, man. Timo's buddy out in Phoenix, I believe, is at the Phoenix Knife House, Phoenix Knife Company. Man, I can't remember what it's called. But we went and got some brand new steak knives.
You sent me a picture of those. Those things looked rad, man.
Yeah, just super fancy shit. It was they looked
not your typical steak knife.
Super fancy. The guy kind of like talked. He talked to me, asked me what I was. What the fuck you actually doing with these knives? What do you actually need them for? I was like, well, I just basically be cooking steaks and shit, and we have one knife and we share it. Yeah. And I sent him a picture of it, and I go, yep, I was right. I go, I'm pretty sure it's from IKEA, and it has a little IKEA logo in the corner of it. But that's our one steak knife, and I'm pretty sure it was like, $250 for a set of 4 or something. But we got some badass fucking steak knives. Phoenix Knife House. That's the spot. That's the fucking spot. Go see my buddy Corey down there. He'll get you some fucking knives. Fucking badass looking fucking knives. Make you feel tough inside.
Is he doing like Timo does? Is he actually hand forging those knives, or?
No. Timo's on a different level, man. That guy's fucking weird.
Well, I know he's like hand forging everything. Timo is. I just didn't know about these
this
knives.
Guy,
They seem
Corey,
very excited. They seem very
Knife
fancy.
House, or whatever I was saying is, I believe it's an actual store in Phoenix that sells fancy house knives. It's what they do. That's all they do, I believe.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Timo's
They take heads order. They take heads order, and then they call Timo, and Timo makes them, and he ships them to them, and then they up price them, and then head pays 10 times as much. That's how it works. That's what they're doing.
Timo's tired of giving head free shit.
Right. Yeah. Call this guy. He's gonna take your number.
Right.
Too good.
That's awesome, man.
No, I mean they look very Asian. I don't know. Are we doing drinks?
Well, Timo looks very Asian too.
Timo looks
it all works out. It all works out.
I'm doing a little half shot of the Jameson.
All right.
Awesome,
well, happy
guys.
birthday.
Yeah,
I think he's 45. Buddy. He's 45. I think. So. Happy birthday.
You're fucking old, man. You're old, man.
He's 45, I think.
Whew. Yeah. That's,
so who is this?
That's
this
tasty.
Bird buddy that you speak of, man? What is this?
I don't even know what this is.
Oh man, you guys don't even know what Bird Buddy's all about?
I do not.
I feel sorry for you guys. What kind of sheltered world do you guys live in? It's Bird Buddy, man.
Well,
man. It's a Kickstarter that I came across, and my wife Lolo and I, we, obviously we don't have kids, and we just have those fucking dogs, and we pretty much don't even like them anymore because they're just such a fucking nuisance, So we lean into like, hey, let's get some bird feed down at Costco, and we'll, put a little birdhouse out there, and we'll watch the birds come up. So I saw this thing online. It was like, are you ready for the next generation of bird feeding? You know, I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. Clicked it next. And it was like, do you want to see the birds that come up and feed out of your bird feeder? I was like, yes, I do. Continue. And it was like, get your bird buddy now. And what it is, it's literally... So what it is more or less it's basically a Nest camera or whatever, whatever the company's called now, whatever has the cameras for the houses. But it's attached to the front of a birdhouse that you put bird seed in, and it flows out, and it lets bird seed sit in the front of it, and it basically will record anytime anything flies up to there or tries to get in there and get the bird seed. It also will categorize the type of actual bird that it is. I don't know if it'll categorize the squirrels or fucking mice that'll steal the bird seed out of there. I'm not sure if there's a category for that. But, it gives you little stars. It's like, oh, you've got a blue robin. Ting! It gives you a little star. But,
Dude, the only reason shit like that exists is because everybody's been locked in their fucking house for 10 months and they're fucking bored.
Right? I mean, I don't even care. I was like, fuck yeah, I want one of those. I'll give Lolo that, whether she likes it or
waiting
not.
For birds to fly up.
He calls me the old one, right? But he's the one that his new hobby is bird watching. Right?
He's watching birds on his phone at home. And the bird feeder's outside the window of where he's sitting.
I need an update. I need an update on my phone
good,
also.
Man.
So yeah, I mean, it takes pictures of the birds, It'll keeps track of them. It's like, oh, you saw that fucking blue robin, 2 weeks ago, man. He came back to fucking feed on your bird stand again. I don't know. It's pretty cool, man. I was like, I'll fucking pitch in for that shit to be made. And I think, man, I could look it up right now. They, of course, now they're sending me the messages. They're like, this is 1,080%, funded, blah, 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 blah. In January, you're going to be charged. And, I think I can't even remember. I think it was in pounds, the price. You know what I mean? When I actually bought it, But I'm pretty sure it's like $180 or something like that. I'm really still not sure. I'm honestly still not sure exactly how much the fucking thing is. You know what I mean? It could be fucking who knows what price, but I funded it for sure. Lolo's getting a fucking bird feeder for Christmas.
If it gets funded, right?
Yeah, but if it says 1,000% funded, I think it's. I'm guessing that it like a month before its deadline, it's already overdone its goal. Basically, like the motherfucker is getting made. You better come with some fucking bird feeders, motherfucker. Fucking.
What's crazy is that's the discounted price. They usually discount, yeah.
I don't know. Good for those dudes, though. Hey, let's put a fucking Nest camera on a fucking plastic bird feeder. Done. Put a fucking name on it. What are we gonna call it? Bird Buddy. Fuck yeah. Put that shit up there. Fucking get that Kickstarter started. They probably didn't even fucking know what they were doing. Nothing was probably even built before they even started it.
I wonder how many of those Kickstarters don't come through. They reach their goal, everything happens, and then for some reason some shit falls through, or it doesn't work out, or
I don't know. We'll see.
Probably more than
you're like,
imagine.
yeah, good job, dude. Oh, you fucked up.
I got Lolo and I those collapsible straws, and that was the same type of thing. I was like, hell yeah, I want a straw. I don't think I knew at the time that it was a Kickstarter. I just paid like the $25 each first. I paid like $20 or $30, $40 for 2 straws. And it was like months had went by and they still didn't send me the fucking straw. And I was like, all right, I'm fucking getting kind of fed up here. Like, send me my $40 or send me a fucking straw that folds in half. You know what I mean? Like, one or the other. I'm getting fed up here. I'm thinking you're gonna cheat me, Well,
you knew you were buying something that wasn't built yet.
I don't think I knew on that time. This time I know. I hope Lolo gets a gift for Christmas. I might need a backup.
Oh, so good, man.
Tony sent me this Walmart drone light show or whatever, and it's been going on my phone. I looked it up earlier. Is that what? Did you put this in here? The Walmart drone show, or did Head put that in there?
Heavy had recommended that.
Oh, was that you? I didn't know who that was. I was like, I thought Tony had put that in there, and I was like, oh, what is it? I copied that into my phone or whatever. It's been going like all day, like in the background. It's so cool.
It was cool, man. Yeah, I was amazed at that. At first, I thought it was fake.
Yeah, they. I think they first did that. I don't know if you remember. They did that at the Olympics. Remember that year that they did it over in Japan or somewhere crazy, and they had that show, and I think that's where they first did those. But yeah, it's crazy. I think they hooked those all up to a computer or something, and they programmed those to do all that. Right? I mean, is that crazy
Paul. I think
or
it was
what?
the Beijing Olympics, and I think it was
Beijing. I remember it was a really cool
PH or HP or something. Some kind of special promotion, and they did a big show, and things were flying and doing stuff. But yeah, I mean, just that kind of
nothing
stuff
like this though. This was crazy.
Person.
This was making there was one where it was like either a Santa Claus or something, but let alone was the Santa Claus in perfect formation, right? And it looked like you could definitely tell who it was, but it had it moving like in a way, right? So like it almost
reindeers,
I mean,
and shit were
right?
Yeah.
Like that's what was super trippy looking, you know. But I've had it on my dumb phone all day. Yeah.
Pretty quick changes also from like they would show some reindeers and then it would go into a Santa Claus face like pretty quick.
Right.
Where it's like,
it'd be like all
those are
sparkly
just
and then
space
Santa
for
Claus
reindeers. But then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, there's like hundreds more of what you're actually seeing. Like, you know,
do you know
way
how many
more prepared
drones
than you think
were involved in that?
What's that?
Was there 1,000? Was there 10,000? I mean, how many drones were involved in that? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure there was a
I didn't see it on there. Yeah, it was crazy. It was really crazy.
Paul, what is that? What does that take? I mean, what is it? What does it take to even program a drone to fly up to a certain altitude, take a photo, or flash a light color, and then fly down and land? I mean, it's a lot of work, right?
Well, they're just not even normal drones. I mean, they obviously have some kind of lighting built in. So, let alone is the motion programmed, like how high and all that. But the lighting is programmed, so it's like a light show, like at a concert as well, right? Yeah. So, I mean, you have both of those going. So, I have no clue. That's way out of my, you know. I can fly a drone.
Just the type
if
of
you want your building, your building to look good. I can fly a drone like going straight back and up and down all day long, but. I don't make any holiday shows with my shit. So. I'm boring.
You are boring.
You said they did that at the Beijing Olympics too?
Yeah, they did.
That's where I first saw that. Yeah,
I think that was the first attempt of like a large scale picture.
It makes
with
sense.
The drones.
Because me and my girl, we went out to Beijing and we actually went to Olympic Park. And it was every building and everything that was there was literally illuminated. So we stayed for sunset because it's like a light show at night, just the buildings alone. So I could imagine what it was like with that light show with the drones up above doing it. Like, how fucking crazy, man. How cool. Those Chinese people, man, they're smart. They do some smart shit.
Asians, man. Awesome. There's a lot of them, but those motherfuckers are smart, man.
Smart.
Yeah, they're fucking good. Timo would say the same thing.
Cool.
Man, and then also, you know, the Asian people depicted in movies, too. You know, we're going to hit on that for a second. Man, there's always the dumb Asian kid. And it's like, that ain't cool. You know, there doesn't need to be the goofy Asian kid in every group, you know, in the movies. You know, it's like, let the Asian kid be cool, man.
It's actually kind of funny, though, because we were watching Survivor the other day, and there's this Asian dude on there, and he is like that, though. He's like this surfer, like, oh, man, so cool. Oh, my God. That's funny. It's real, man. It's real.
So what's been going on, guys? I was like, I'm going to open up my app real quick and see what we're actually talking about today.
Well, we have 2 words: hot dog dollars.
Oh man,
Hedrick.
The hot dog bun. Oh man.
You know those things in life that like most people would just get slapped for or called an asshole for or kicked out of a place for, but Hedrick just gets away with that type of shit. And this is one of those situations. I'll let Hedrick tell the rest of the story.
So I don't remember much about it, but definitely back in Vegas, Tony and I would once he moved away, we'd always link back up in different states, and of course we'd always want to do it up, 150%. So we'd always plan for extraordinary, like, oh well, let's rent this place, and they have cabanas, and we could rent a cabana and rent our own little spot, and so we'd always kind of do something special. But I believe this was at oh man, I don't even know where. I can't even remember the name of the place right now. South Las Vegas, the Q or the man, I still can't remember. But we were at a pool. And it was one of those things where it was like, oh, well, there's $5 admission fee today. And we were like, well, we have like 13 people. And they're like, well, you could get a cabana if you wanted to. They're like, it's $100 or $150, and you'll have your own waitress, and you guys get this, and you get some food. And we're like, well, what do you get for the food? And they're like, well, you get we'll bring some hot dogs and this chicken fingers and french fries. We're like, fuck yeah. This sounds awesome, Let's get the fucking cabana. Hell yeah. So we get out there, and of course we sit out in the sun, for at least a couple hours, and friends show up.
Wasted.
And we're getting wasted. I'm sure we were doing drugs or whatever, We had this one waitress that just like, you could tell she was, God bless her soul. You could tell she was like a young soul. She was growing up in a really, fun environment, and she was just trying to hang in there and make her money. And I think that she thought we weren't going to be taking care of her. You know what I mean?
Well, too, I mean, if you know Hedrick Wasted at all when he's out partying, like, he's fun, but he's kind of an asshole. Especially with the waitresses, like
he is. I kind of feel like he's really gracious. Like you mean they got off like on the wrong foot just right away? Something happened?
No, he's just really playful and does weird shit, and sometimes loves it when he can make an awkward situation.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things, where we were there for a while. He was wasted, so there was a lot of things he did to make sure it was nice and awkward.
How old was this
waitress
person?
That's dealing with us?
I would say she was 18 to 21 years
old.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, she was young,
So this could have even been like one of her first waitressing jobs, right? At that point, right? Yeah,
for sure,
right,
for sure.
So she hasn't yet ran across one of Head's antics, some of his antics and stuff.
15 other people that are tattooed from head to toe and wasted and eating pickles on hot dogs and just weird shit.
We are there with a fun group also. Yes.
So did you get some hot dogs? So she doesn't like you.
Oh yeah, man. We ate hot dogs, and Lola was over there scarfing down chicken fingers because that's her thing.
Yeah.
We were floating around in the pool, getting sunburnt, drinking cocktails out of huge ass beverage, out of huge ass drinks, Vegas style. Towards the end though, it came to the time we were like getting ready to pay. And one thing with our group of friends, luckily, you hear about a lot of people like going to pay at places and like everybody's fighting over and like punching into the calculator. How much do I owe? What is 12% tip plus my $35? We're not like that. It's like we look at it and we're like, oh, this shit's a couple $100. All right. Well, if I leave at least $100 and something dollars, the other 18 people here have to leave at least a couple hundred. So by the end, it's like, oh wait, we have $500 or $600 here, and it's only $300 or $400. So of course we have the option just to give this, sweet young, professional young girl that just tried her hardest all day. We could have just given her cash.
Well, but just to kind of see it from her point of view before he gets to what was in there, though, Hedrick decides to take her tip and crumple it up into little teeny balls and stick it into a hot dog bun, and then walk up to her awkwardly and hand her the hot dog bun. But there was at least a couple $100 in there, and it was Hedrick.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking like crumpled up hundreds and 50s.
Did she see the money in there?
Bun.
Yes,
Well,
and at first it was like, what the fuck?
I
But then
think.
she realized how much it was, and everybody wanted to take pictures with it.
Yeah.
But I was definitely fighting Hedrick, like, dude, don't be a dick and take her that fucking hot dog bun. Just tip her out. You've been bugging her all day.
We saw at one
loved it,
point,
man.
like, her talking with her coworkers, and they're like, what the you know, you can tell, like, they're mouthing, like, what the fuck? Really? Like, you know, $200 in a hot dog bun? You know, they had, like, the weird funny faces, you know? Oh, man, too good.
Once again, Hedrick got away with it for sure. Like,
Yeah.
everything was funny. Had I have done that,
dude.
it wouldn't have worked like that. I just know it. Had I have done
'cause
that, it
you're
would have been
mean.
like, that dude's a fucking dick.
You're mean.
Well,
You're mean.
I mean, I think Harvey Weinstein's in jail for doing something like that. So, you know.
Oh, so good, man. So good. Speaking of people in jail, I see that you got on here talking about Peewees Playhouse. What's up with that? What's your? Why is that even on your mind?
Pee-wee's Playhouse, man,
I like
'cause
I
it's
like how
amazing.
I like how he transitioned. He's been speaking to people in prison. I think he meant just
Right?
creeps or weirdos.
So they're you know they're for one, you know, Peewee's Playhouse is really awesome, and it was a sketch comedy show. You know that what is it, the sketch comedy group, the Groundlings, I believe, is what it's called, that a lot of the comedians came from back in New York, which was like a comedy sketch group. That was really famous. You know, it started off as like a midnight show that somebody picked up, and then it got transferred. They wanted to make it into like an animated series for kids, and you know, Rubens was like, no, I think this could be like a real kids show, you know, and they started doing that kind of crazy type stuff. Man, what if you take a second and watch that show nowadays? It's
a trip.
It's wild, man. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
is a fucking wild show. There's pterodactyls. There's times where he's walking through a grocery store and they're like, oh, can I help you? He's like, oh, no, I just found the pterodactyl food right here. You know, and it like just cuts to a different thing. Like, it's weird and out there. But
I started watching some of it earlier when I saw that, and I was like, well, I haven't seen that in years. You know, in years. It's kind of creepy, really. You know, you got chairs that have teeth and arms that hold you and shit like that. Like, it's a weird show. It's really weird.
For sure.
Well, I just showed the kids Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Remember, we talked about that around Halloween time. But Tony, the kids had never seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure, you know, and so I put this thing on, and they're just glued to the screen. They're just, I mean, the 10-year-old was just the little one when he got up on the bar and started dancing in those bar shoes, and all those bikers wanted to kill him. Oh my gosh, the little one just thought that He's made me play Tequila, you know what I mean, like a million times on the HomePod, right? You know, and he does the little dance with his arms like that, like the bicycle or whatever. I mean, they just had never seen even that you were talking about. Had like that was Tim Burton's first movie. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't know that was a Tim Burton movie.
Yeah, and so there was
Wow.
just nothing. Yeah,
That was
there was
the
just
starting of
nothing
it.
like that. Yeah, there was
then
just nothing
also-
like that. It was very unique.
And then also at the time, who was in the sketch comedy group was Phil Hartman, which you know,
He's the mailman,
did
right?
SNL and ended up getting killed by his wife, which is just terribly sad.
horrible.
She shot him in his bed or something, you know, like during you know, towards the end of his career.
He's the best.
But you know, just a lot of really Lawrence Fishburne, you know what I mean? Started on Pee-wee's Playhouse. That was the starting of everything. So
That's
I don't
funny.
know. I put it on in the morning time a lot of the time. If I'm not if I'm not doing anything, if I'm not sitting and watching the TV, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm gonna put something on, hanging out with my dogs, and they're like looking around and stuff, and trying to like sunbathe. I'm gonna put on Peewees Playhouse because it's weird. There's awkward stuff going on. They're always getting mail about weird stuff happening. And there's not a lot of dogs barking on it. So the dogs love it. It's like an entertainment thing. I can put like the sleep timer on the TV, leave it on for 2 hours when I leave, and leave the dogs there. But, yeah, man. It's awesome.
I love that you're still watching Pee-wee Playhouse. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Of course. I'm almost done with Roseanne, man. Like a few more episodes.
Roseanne.
My wife, man, season 9 of Roseanne is starting. You know, I was like, oh, I've waited, you know, the next 15 episodes are on here. She goes, oh, are you talking about the season where, you know, spoiler alert, you know, heads up. She goes, are you talking about the season where, you know, Dan leaves Roseanne for the nurse, you know, and you know, and they win all the money? I was like, well, I knew they won the money, but like, thanks for ruining the rest of the fucking the rest of the show for me. You know, she sits there politely and says, spoiler alert. I was so pissed. But
I feel like I gotta go back and watch all the Pee-wee's Playhouse and Pee-wee Big Adventure again now.
At least like the first one or two seasons of Pee-wee's, you know, Playhouse, the show, man, it's good. It's weird. Dude,
Tony, I'll tell you who's watching Pee-wee's Playhouse is those people in Portland where the mushrooms got legalized.
I bet, man.
That's where they're watching. That's what he forgot to tell us.
I was thinking, man, I gotta watch that, but eat some mushrooms or eat something that'll kind of make it kind of weird, you know.
That's what he forgot. That's what he forgot to tell us. Do you guys think that drugs should just be completely legal or what? What's the scoop? You guys are the if anybody.
That's a tough debate.
It's almost like we need to sound an alarm right here in this part of the show, right? Because we have two of the most. You guys are the Faucis of this question. Do you realize that you guys are the Faucis of this question right here? So I'll let you guys take the stage.
You know, I think that's a tough one, man. I think most people that I speak with. Go ahead. Let's let you start. Go ahead.
I'm going to start with something as simple as I don't think people should be in prison right now for stuff that's legal in their state currently. I think it's just so silly. There's people in prison for, you know, traveling with weed across state lines, even if it's in the fucking 100-pound quantity in a fucking truck. Or I still just like I don't see that as something that's like you should be punished. You should be in prison for 20 years of your life. That I think is just totally fucking ridiculous. And I think
that's one of the biggest arguments, you know, is that, what is it, 75 or 80% of our jail system is full of drug convictions. You know, I think it might even be more than that, to be honest with you. I mean, it's huge, you know, and the second you get somebody stuck in that system like that, they might not be getting out, and it might just be from an issue. Or, again, I think it's a tough debate, you know, you got to see it from all angles, but yeah, I think that's crazy. We're locking everybody up for drug problems, you know.
Now let me ask you this question, Head. Yeah. So what's sad is the person that's usually driving that car that has all that isn't the person that's dealing the drugs. They're just the poor person driving the car, right?
Well, that's
which I think is even worse because now you just put the driver of a car in prison for the rest of his life for driving weed across state lines versus the person that's actually orchestrating it and making the money off of it, which I think is almost even more sad. You know,
it's another huge part of it too, is that with everything being illegal, that's what it's creating. You're creating an underground market. You're creating an environment for stuff to be illegal. You're creating all these bad guys have something to get involved in. That's why the cartels exist. You know, it's kind of a trip, you know. So
but at the same time, I do see where it would not be the best thing to have people openly, you know, selling crack or something on the street corners, and nothing, the whole idea behind it isn't to put them on the corners. Being threatened to them, for it to not be a good thing. I definitely understand how people could say, well, that could definitely get out of control.
I think it would be a tough one to do. I don't think that. I think the idea is more to have a legal market to where stuff is actually controlled, kind of like the weed now, kind of like alcohol, kind of like over-the-counter pharmaceuticals and stuff like that. It's regulated. You know your dosages. You know what it's actually being made. As opposed to mom of 4 kids that has a crack habit that goes to the crack house, who again is now going to a dangerous house, putting herself in a dangerous situation to get a drug that she doesn't know where it was made or what it was made with. Now, again, I'm not saying that we should be smoking crack, and I don't know how it is that you make something like this work or make it legit, but wouldn't it be nice if that mom of 4 that has a crack habit could be going to therapy and getting help and then getting crack?
She ain't going to therapy, dog. She wants to smoke crack.
Well, and if she wants to smoke crack, then at least maybe she can get her crack from a clean place. You know what I mean? She can go someplace that's safe and buy crack that's been made properly without a bunch of byproducts in it that's going to kill her.
But if you have the accessibility to go buy crack at an open dispensary, a lot of people are going to be going to that crack house or to that crack.
I think they're going to find
dispensary.
crack anyways, though. If you want crack, you're going to find crack.
Sure, but I think the hunt with the drugs is sometimes half the battle.
Well, sometimes half the fun, so maybe you wouldn't want to go find it so much. You'd be like, fuck, it's right there.
Saying.
This is boring. What can I get into?
It sounds like you guys love weed, but you're against crack. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, crack's bad.
It's a hard one. I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
I think
when
it's a
you
tough
start,
debate,
yeah.
man.
I hear
There's
what you're
this
saying,
guy,
Tony. It'd be nice.
Jeffrey,
Go ahead.
Jeffrey Moran, I think his name is, Jeffrey Marone. He does a lot of debates. He's a Harvard professor, does a lot of debates on this in favor of actually legalizing all drugs. If you get a chance to listen to some of this stuff, it's interesting, because I would have never even thought of it to be a thought or a possibility or something that even should happen until I listened to some of this stuff, and then I was like, well, man, maybe it could possibly be done. You know, a lot of the bad parts of drugs being illegal are pretty fucking bad, you know? Even myself, I got caught growing weed when I was 20 years old. It fucked my world up. You know what I mean? Now, again, I can look back. People will look at it today and say, man, that sucks because weed's legal. And now that sucks that all that happened and they should just get rid of it. Well, at the time it wasn't legal, you know, so I can look back and say, okay, I still fucked up. But that sucks. You know what I mean? It put me on probation for 4 years. I still to this day don't have my civil rights because I committed a felony for growing weed. You know, it sucks.
Before I met Tony and got arrested, the only time I got arrested was because a horse cop caught me smoking weed in Tempe, Arizona. I got caught by a horse cop, dog. A horse cop. A cop on
the
horse.
The horse smelt it. The horse smelt it and ran over. What happened?
Well, we could see the horse cops, and they were like, "Are people in there?" You know, we could see them talking, you know, and they couldn't see us because it was like we were smoking a joint, you know, in the car with a bunch of 3 people. But you know, you could hear them say, "Are there people in there?" You know, and they like with their fucking horses, troppled up. What do you usually call it? What fucking horse trops? I don't know. Fucking
I like,
fucking, oh yeah, there are people in there. Man, they pulled us all out of there. We had fucking one roach between 3 grown men in Tempe, Arizona, and we all got arrested, taken into the jail, strip searched.
Taken down
You know
to
what I
jail.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With
it was
one
illegal.
joint for
Jail.
4 people?
Not a joint. It was a roach. We had already smoked it.
Oh,
That's
my
where all the
God.
smoke came from.
Yeah.
But they took us all to jail. We were
Wow.
in there for
Well,
4
see, and there's
or
a whole
5
other point
hours.
too. What a waste of those cops' time. Couldn't they
Right?
be doing something better than? And again, I know that weed's
Right.
starting to legalize, but some of that other stuff too. If it was brought to some way to work better, we could take those cops and actually put them to use for violent situations, rapes, domestic violences, murder, whatever it may be. There's a lot of bullshit happening out there. I can point in my neighborhood right now and say, "Damn, I wish the cops weren't out busting somebody for something else because we could use them around here." So,
But are they going to be on horse? Are they going to be on horses?
not out here?
Tony, could you imagine? They probably just got done, right? And they're sitting in the car, and they're all sitting there, and they're freaking out because they're like, "Do you hear those horse hooves? Where's that horse coming from?" Right?
Is
Like
this
they start.
real?
What is that? Where's that horse coming from? Right? And here it comes up behind them. Those huge, gigantic. Those horses are huge too. They probably
I
sat,
was gonna say,
2
those
feet
things are
above your
scary,
car.
man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They probably thought like
I'm glad
the
you guys
Grim
think
Reaper.
so.
Yeah.
I
Like
thought I
death
just
was
a
coming to
pussy,
get him.
but I'm not in this situation.
Well, and cops tend to be kind of temperamental about their horses. Like, don't touch my fucking horse.
No.
So it's like one of those things where you're like, all right, I shouldn't move, I shouldn't touch anything, but
No.
the horse is getting really fucking close. Should I just let it bump into me? It's big. That's
I
scary,
definitely
man.
remember. I definitely remember the cops were filling out like the incident report, you know, and there was like a new cop with an old, with the old style,
Yeah.
an experienced, cop, and the guy was like, hey, this line here, it's like how we approached and how we found the people, and my buddy's like, you could probably just put caught red-handed in that area, like jumped in, was like fucking around with the cops. But
Do you remember when we got pulled over in Flagstaff Head?
Oh fuck yeah, I do.
We were in
I was
Flagstaff,
fucking nauseous
and we were getting
all
ready
day.
to do some piercing stuff for the day, and
Some piercing
we woke
stuff
up,
for the
got
day.
in the car, start driving. It was the Taboo, the National
We
Geographic.
were doing
stuff.
a
Remember that?
Taboo National Geographic Taboo TV show.
Yeah, so we
Filming.
were going to film for that.
That was that day.
I remember that. I
And
remember
we were on our way
What do
to
you mean?
it,
We were just about to do some
and we
piercing.
got
No
fucking
big deal.
pulled over, and Hedrick had just pulled out a huge nug out of his pocket, and we got pulled. And as we start getting pulled over, Hedrick decides to eat the nug, which made my car stink like a fucking weed factory. Cop pulls us over. I roll down the window, and he looks at us and says, "Really? All right, where's the weed?" I had just gotten my medical card in California, and the
Yeah.
cop actually took my weed, then gave my weed back to me, and let us go with the speeding ticket they gave me. So Hedrick didn't even have to eat that weed.
What?
But I
He
ate
just
a
got
huge
nervous.
nug of
Did he
fucking
just get
weed,
But
nervous?
that's good, man. We were used
Yeah.
to getting fucked with,
Yeah.
Our whole life it's been illegal. You get pulled over. I've been arrested on multiple occasions for weed. Whether it's a
Well, and
bowl
that
or
was
a
back
pipe.
when you first got those cards too. You're just like, I don't know if this thing
I
really
had
works.
literally just got my card, and it was in Cali, and we were in Arizona, so I just didn't know
Exactly.
how or if it was going to work, But yeah, he let us go, and he gave me my weed back, and I remember Hedrick smelling like weed for the next hour or two. He had a bunch of weed stuck in his teeth, and it was great.
Dude, I was all nauseous after that. I wanted to throw up, eating a big old fucking
Oh,
dank
sick,
ass
yeah.
nug.
Well, see,
But
so even again, kind of coming back to that, like, I legitly have a fear of police when they get behind me. These days, I'm not really doing a whole lot, man. You know what I mean? I don't have a reason to be scared, but I still get scared. It's been like beat into me in my whole life that the little bit of drugs that I like to mess with, or the weed that I like to smoke, or the mushrooms that I might want to eat and go do something might get me arrested and ruin my whole fucking life. It's a trip, and I literally fear cops. I can be driving
As
down
a
the street
super-
with not even weed on me, even though I have my weed license, and if a cop gets behind me, my stomach goes like into my feet.
Me too.
It shouldn't be like
for
that.
sure.
It shouldn't be like that.
But
you
you're
know?
also but you also got to add in there. You're also a very responsible person. You don't mess around. You're not going to do stuff in a weird environment. You know what I mean? It's like we might be a little different from the normal person that's like, oh, let's eat a bunch of mushrooms and go drive on the freeway and. I don't know.
I meant
not
more
that I
like-
haven't done
yeah,
that, but
in my youth, maybe, yeah. These days, I'll definitely go someplace crazy and eat some mushrooms, But I'll be hopeful that somebody will drive me home.
that
And then
cop
he's gonna
in,
What?
I was gonna say when I went to Arizona and I had some weed in my car, we went through the little checkpoint thing. Everything was all good. I smoked my weed my whole vacation. It was like 2 or 3 days, and I was heading across with Lolo. And Lolo, of course, when we went across the first time, she was stressed out because I had a little bit of weed on us, and she's like, really, and we got through, and she was like, oh man, I'm so relieved. And I was like, yeah, me too, Smoke my weed, hang out the whole vacation. We're on the way back. The fucking dog that they have out there was super cute. Fucking little drug dog. They have him like circling the cars as they pull up. So when I pull up to the dog, I didn't pull up. I was scared. I thought I was going to run over the fucking dog, And they're like, no, you got to pull forward, Obviously, the dog was trained better than I was in these situations of, searching cars. But so I pulled forward finally, and the dog fucking alerted at something. You know, he was freaked out because I was being all fucking weird. And they're like, "Sir, can you pull over to the number 2 lane over here?" And we pull over, and Lolo's like, "Oh, fuck you. You're a fucking asshole. What the fuck are you doing?" You know, instantly just like, "Oh, you're a fucking idiot. What did you fucking do?" You know. He comes up. He's like, "Hey," he's like, "I know you got something in the car. You know, the dog alerted on it. Just let me know what you have, and you know, maybe I'll let you on your way." I was like, "All right, there's a little bit of weed in my backpack." You know, he's like, "All right, cool." He goes, "Step out of the car real quick. Go sit in the waiting area." You know, and they have like a specialized marked off area for each car that they have pulled over. So we go and sit over there, and Lolo's fucking stressing. I mean, I am too, honestly, but Lolo's really fucking stressing. And you know, they go over there. They're like digging through all of our stuff, opening up bags. They got my backpack out. The guy finally walks over. He goes, "Hey, man." He's like, "So where is the weed at?" You know, and I was like, "Do you want me to show you?" I go, "It's in my it's in my backpack where I said the first time." I go, "I'm not lying." I go, "It's in there." And he goes, "Well, would you mind showing us where the drugs are at?" You know, and I was like, "All right, I'll show you." And we walk over there, and I zip open the only like front compartment to my backpack, one little zip, and I open it up and I grab out this little tiny baggie, and it has like a little nug in there. And he's like, "This is what you're talking about?" He goes, "This is your weed?" I go, "I told you I have a little bit of weed in my backpack." He goes, "All right, go sit back over there." And then like they put it, you know, they're like messing around in the car. They figure everything out. And they're like, "All right, you guys need to get out of here. You know, you better take it easy, and you know, don't be doing that stuff again. It pulls the dogs off the line. You know, like other drugs could be passing." And we start driving away, and I'm go, "Hey, Lolo." You know, we get about a quarter mile down the road. I go, "Lolo, go see if my weed's in the backpack." You know, and she goes back there and opens up that backpack. She goes, "Your weed's totally in here." I go, "They totally put the weed back?" And she goes, "Fuck yeah, they did." You know, they totally put my one little tiny nug that I didn't even care. I didn't even care if I fucking kept it. You know what I mean? It was just something I had left over, but they totally stuffed it back
but everybody,
in my backpack.
dude, the person, like you said, that has the 10 pounds, they say, "Oh, I just have a little bit in the backpack." I mean, that's the same response everybody says. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the problem. They opened it up, and they thought they were going to, like, you know.
Nothing to do with you.
No, they were like, "This isn't even worth writing the paperwork." No,
give them
they
the
didn't
weed
want to
back
write
so we don't have to write
on
anything
that.
up.
Exactly. Throw it back in there and just move them along. Exactly.
How funny, man.
But just funny
All
stuff
right, so we're
where it's like they just thought it was obviously like way worse. You know what I mean? Than it really was.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, no, I literally
that's
just
how
have like a little bit of weed.
They have to set up for
too
that.
Good, man.
How do we transition out of this into the South Park pandemic special? It's kind of a rough. That's kind of a rough one there, dude. I gotta tell you, like, I gotta tell you this. It was so funny. So, like, you know, I turned this on, and I didn't watch the whole thing, but dude, the first part is so funny, Tony. If we're talking about the same thing, Head. It starts off, Tony, where there's some people that want to wear the mask and there's some people that don't. And then Jessica just happened to be walking by. I'm like, "Jessica, you've got to watch this one part." Head, when the one person walks by on the street, but he's got his mask and but it's underneath his nose or whatever. You know, it's not even on. Like, it's halfway down his mouth. And you know, someone screams like, "What the fuck?" You know, what do you know? I can't remember what character is. But you're like, what does that person think he's doing? You know, Jessica was just crying, laughing. You know, because. You know, we always think that's funny where you see people out there, right, and they've got, you know, this mask. They bother to put it on, but it's just hanging off. You know what I mean? At that point, so
they even say in the episode, they're like, "Wait, you want me to wear that thing over my face?"
Yeah, exactly. Over, you know. So so yeah, I like that piece, and then it was funny that the weed shop was making all the money. Every business was out. All the small businesses were out of business, you know. But the Hank's Weed
special,
Farm
man.
or whatever, pandemic special. Yeah, I think you got a free bong or something with every purchase or something. But we were cracking
Paul,
up.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
Tony got jacked by. Where did you rent the movie from? Apple or YouTube?
Oh my god, man! It was YouTube. Yeah, I got on there and I rented it. Well, I was going to rent it, and they were like, "All right, so $2.99 so you can buy the episode, or $6.99 and you can buy the season." I was like, "Well, fuck yeah, South Park season! I'll spend $6.99 and get the season."
Yeah.
Dude, there is
$3
no
extra
fucking season. Yeah. They charged me this $6.99, and there is no season. There's a fucking episode.
It's just the pandemic special
Yeah,
episode. There is no
Maybe-
honestly, I don't even know what to
maybe-
do. I don't know
maybe-
if I should
maybe
go
you-
to YouTube or- I mean, I don't really care. It's $4, but I'm like, man, you fucked me.
I think you prepaid for the Kickstarter for next year's season when the
Obviously,
pandemic's
right?
over.
for Bird
Well,
Buddy.
and I even Googled
Your
it, and everybody was
Kickstarter
like,
money
yeah,
for
no,
Bird
there is
Buddy
no
is
season
going in.
24. That's it. Like, you got what you
your
bought.
extra $5 went to the Bird Buddy. That's what happened. That's what happened.
Oh, man. No, it was worth every penny, though, man. That shit was absolutely
Yeah, it's
hilarious.
funny. It was
Me and my lady
funny.
sat here watching it, smoking, just eating, and it cracked me up.
It was funny.
They
Yeah.
didn't
Those
get, honestly, I
dudes
thought
are
that
at
they
it.
would get deeper in talking shit, because they usually do.
Yeah.
But I felt like they almost kind of kept it a little bit...
Yeah,
They
light, a
stayed
little
real
lighter.
neutral. They were smart on this one. You know, they usually don't do that. Usually they're
Yeah.
like, "Fuck you, this
No.
is how we feel. Take this." This time they were like, we're gonna
Yeah.
go both
They-
ways a little bit.
everything's
Take it
They know
easy."
these people have been trapped in their houses for a year. You know what I'm saying? They're like, we better
Oh,
tone
man.
this down a notch, or we're gonna have a riot.
That shit
You know
was
what I mean?
funny though.
That's it.
Cartman's
That's
got that
usually what
6-foot
happens,
stick.
yeah.
He's pushing his mom against the wall. It's just so good, man. Oh, what a great fucking show.
Well,
See-
I don't have HBO, so I can't give you my stolen password for HBO.
Is it on HBO? Is that what it's
But
on?
if you want Philo or Apple TV or Netflix,
That's you, huh?
I'll give
You
you,
might-
give you all those passwords. Just let me know. Are we allowed to do that? Is that against the law? Why would they give
Yeah.
you 6 accounts if they weren't expecting you to give them out to 6 friends?
6
I don't
computers.
know. We share all of our shit.
6 accounts. Since 6, like you
They've-
can have it on 6 different devices. Is what they're
They've
trying
gotta
to do.
Sure,
know, though,
they know
'cause
that
we got,
people
like-
usually.
We've got family in Mexico and family in Las Vegas that use our
Yeah.
account that we have in Hawaii.
That's
They
why I'm
gotta
afraid to give you
know,
my
you know?
passwords. I'm afraid
If you
they're
get
gonna
on,
be like,
if you
"Someone
get
in
on there
Mexico's
and,
using
and
your
you're all
password,"
logged
and-
out.
Too good. What the fuck is this John Lennon's 40th anniversary?
Dude, John Lennon. It's his 40th anniversary of his death. It means he's been dead now basically half as he was 40 right when he died,
That
or
long,
somewhere
huh?
around there. Yeah, so that's crazy. So, but I thought that set up good for. I don't know if you noticed Tony put maybe a couple episodes out. Maybe you start picking some music for us to probably not like. Probably not
I
like.
thought that
Tony
could
and
be
I-
fun, man. Head's got
You
such a
know.
huge, wide variety and range of music.
And
I
if
think
it's
sometimes
not
real
good, I
easy to
think
hate
it would even be better. So you guys could talk shit. You could be like, "Oh, this shit's
Well,
really
that's why I brought up the John Lennon, because I was just like, I probably am not going to like any of this new music, because I haven't found much of anything lately. Maybe some rock stuff, but I haven't found much of
kind of a
anything
hater
lately
too, man.
that's yeah. And I know that sounds like the old guy, but oh well.
It is. It is the old guy, man. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Head's gonna have to prove it to us that he has something.
It's something I say a lot, man. It's hard for me to find new shit. I try all the time to listen to new shit, and I even give it a real good shot sometimes. It's hard for me. I think I'm kind of stuck on my old shit, and you used to hear it all the time, "Oh, what are these kids listening to?" I literally catch myself saying sometimes, "What the fuck are they listening to these days?" Like, I might not say it as graceful as my parents did, but I'm saying the same shit. Like, I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get some of it. And sometimes Hedrick definitely has a way of making me like some stuff. Not all of it,
for sure.
but some stuff.
So
The
starting,
rest of,
so let's do this. Starting next episode, I'm going to give you guys each something to listen to, and then you're going to report back on it the next episode.
I can dig
Okay,
it.
Fair enough?
that's perfect.
You should give
Yeah,
us both
that's
the
perfect.
same thing to listen to, so we can see if
Correct.
me and
And
Paul hate on each other at all.
we'll say it on the episode, and then we'll let you guys talk shit about it, more or less, the next episode. But Paul, what also me and Tony were talking about that we'd like to start off with that's kind of similar to this we would like to. We want to do the Steve-O stand-up special. It's called Gnarly. It's a rented online through his website. I think it's like a $10 type of thing.
I like
that's
that
where he
guy.
does. That's where he does like the kerosene snow angels, where they dumped kerosene on the ground, jet kerosene, and they
Didn't he
lit it
fuck
on
himself
fire.
up
And he
with that?
laid down and he did snow angels, and he burnt his whole fucking. He had like blood blisters that were like hanging off of his arms and stuff. I guess that kind of stuff is on there, so it's like stunts and his comedy stuff. But I think we should
send the link over, and we can put it on there. I'm up for watching it. I like that, Steve.
Yeah,
he's silly.
He's a smart dude. He's getting older now too, and I like him even more now that he's older.
Is he all clean and stuff now? Wasn't he clean for a while?
Yeah, he's clean and sober, and got his like 10th set of teeth, and
right.
I always liked him. He always seemed very humble, you know.
Well, Paul, he just travels around in that van of his, and then he has it set up where he can do podcasts out of there. So he'll either have people online through an online system where he'll do the podcast online, and or he'll have people there with him, and he'll sit outside of the van, and they'll sit out by the beach and do a podcast and stuff. He's doing some cool stuff for sure. You know, obviously it's because he's Steve-O. He can hang out with anybody he wants, but
and he does too.
Yeah,
that dude definitely gets around and hangs out with some cool people.
Oh yeah.
So we'll watch that. I want to watch it too. Let's go.
All right.
We'll definitely do it.
So next week,
dude,
we'll have some stuff to listen to.
Okay. Oh, this is for next week? You're already giving us stuff now?
No. I'm saying for next week, I'll give you some stuff to listen to, but we'll also watch the Steve-O, and we'll talk about that.
I dig it.
Yeah, we can.
And then
we
if
definitely
Paul's not a pussy, maybe we'll get a drum solo.
Dude, just gonna say, I'm not letting you guys get out of this without talking about Paul's fucking drum solo.
Dude, so tomorrow we got to get the Christmas tree here put up here pretty quick. I think I got to tear the drums down. So I don't think the drums are going to to be out there. So we might have
an hour tonight.
That's an excuse.
We might have to push this drum solo till January.
It does sound like you've been pretty busy throughout this whole pandemic, so money's not an issue. So I think you should just go buy an electric drum set.
That electric kit was cool.
$400. Yeah. Don't give us excuses, Paul. We want a drum solo. Don't make me
that electric kit was cool.
Set.
Yeah, we'll buy you an electric drum set for your birthday.
We haven't been working
for your Christmas. for your Christmas / and the birthday present I owe you.
That definitely that electric drums. I'll see if I can get on it, but I think I'm gonna have to pack the drums up through December. So it's one of those. Dude,
Thanks for my shirt, dude.
He's showing me my shirt. The other half never came yet. I don't know where it's at.
Not yet.
It's lost somewhere. The mail system is so messed up. It takes forever to get anything now. So. It'll come eventually.
Some new cubes for my
I swear
birthday,
I got you something else. I swear it just never showed up.
And it's funny because it was supposed to come Monday. That the big thing I got him, and then of course like the T-shirt shows up. That's like the other little tiny thing I got him because I was like I got to get him one more thing. And of course the T-shirt shows up, and the thing that was expensive. The thing that was expensive is just lost in transit. Right now. So that's how it usually goes. Awesome, boys.
Well, I love you guys.
That was good talking, man. That was good talking. It's always a fun time. Hell yeah.
Tony, I want to give you a hot dog bun filled with hundreds.
I'll take it. I'll shake my titties for you and serve you drinks.
You're a pleasure to be around, and thank you for bringing my Red Bull vodkas.
You are deliberately forgetting who you really are.